by removing the expectation, taking off that hat and putting on the experimentation hat, that's going to make this podcasting journey for you, for myself, a lot more fun. It's going to be creative. That way it becomes a very innovative process that is more about improvement than...
Welcome to Soundboard with Tofe. Here you'll learn all things podcasting to help you connect with your audience. And here's your host, Tofe Evans.
Hello and welcome to the Soundboard with Tofe podcast. Welcome to episode 19. I am your host, Tofe Evans, and this is the podcast that helps industry leaders and companies with tips and tricks to help them streamline their podcast. And today's episode is around perfectionism. That is because I believe we all have a level of perfectionism. It prevents us from getting things done because of the high expectations that we can have because of judgment, because of fear, things that hold us back, because if it's not at the highest level that we have, then it's garbage. When we're in the podcasting world, it's hard sometimes. For myself that only produces 5 to 10 minute episodes, sometimes it takes me an hour to record a 5-minute episode. Now, it's something I'm constantly working on, but in the truth of the matter is, what's better of having it, in quotations, perfect, is to have it done. Now, if it's constantly sloppy, then that's one thing, but just keep trying and keep putting it out there is more important, because in reality, nothing is perfect the first time, and nothing is ever perfect. Let's look at any sort of innovation that's happened over time, like the mobile phone. When it was a huge brick to where it is now, it definitely wasn't perfect then. It still isn't perfect now. Same applies to our podcasts. What's more important is taking the learnings on how to improve and apply it for the next time and the next time, whether that's sound quality, whether that's the umming and the ahhing in our speech, whether that is the topics we talk about, whether that's holding back on profanity. It could be anything. What's more important is having the mindset that good enough is perfect and failing forward. I've spoken about failing forward, or just this acronym of fail, in a previous episode. I think it was episode 16, where Christo, the founder of The Future, he has this terminology where fail is an acronym, and it stands for first attempt in learning. When I keep that in the back of my mind, what that does is it makes me realize just getting it done and how can I improve so the next episode sounds better than the last one, as opposed to why is this not perfect? It's the same thing for any clients I work with. There's been countless times where an episode is completed and it sounds great on my end from hearing them speak, but to them, they want to re-record it when they've recorded it several times. So one more piece of advice I can give you around failing forward and remembering that good enough is perfect is having those people around you who are going to give you constructive feedback. These are people that are in your inner circle, people that you can trust, where they're going to listen to it. They're going to tell you how you can improve on it. And what I'm hearing with that is it's keeping an open mind and realizing that we've got to shut off the ego when it comes to this stuff, because no, we don't know it all. This is where we can test things. This is where we can ask for constructive feedback from the people that we trust and in our inner circles. And by removing the expectation, taking off that hat and putting on the experimentation hat, that's going to make this podcasting journey for you, for myself, a lot more fun. It's going to be creative. That way it becomes a very innovative process that is more about improvement than is this going to get a lead for me? I look at it like money. We're not in jobs to, if we go into the notion of I am doing this business to purely make money, I've lost, as opposed to money is a byproduct. It's the same thing with downloads. They're a byproduct of the quality we produce. Quality is subjective because we all have a different barometer of what is successful and what isn't. But by putting on the experimental hat on and just having fun with it and getting feedback and constantly improving will remove the perfectionism. And the last thing I'll say is this is also a message for myself. Anyway, thank you for listening. Speaking of feedback, I would love your feedback on how you're finding the show so far. Whether you're a frequent listener, if this is your first time, I would love to know more of what you think, what you'd love to hear more of. And if you resonated with this episode, I would love for you to share it around as I continue growing the podcast. Anyway, see you in the next episode.
Thank you for listening, and remember, your voice matters. Soundboard acknowledges the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, paying respects to elders past, present, and emerging.